Returning from his 2-month excursion for pro wrestling Noah in Japan. From Dangerous Town, USA, weighing at 202 pounds. He's the best thing in wrestling, the alternative, Anthony Greene. Introducing his opponent, to my left, from downtown Root City, weighing today at 235 pounds, Iron Rip Byson!
Referee Eric Greenleaf assigned to this contest. I'm curious if he's going to be able to keep this contained. Rip Byson. We talk about Anthony Greene having spent 2 months in Pro Wrestling Noah. What was supposed to be about a week and a half, Johnny Torres, turned into a 2-month stay. That is gumption at its best. There's another man in this Limitless Wrestling locker room that was, I wouldn't call it envious, but perhaps sees himself as a future candidate to go to Pro Wrestling Noah. Perhaps to 0-1 to compete in Japan, and that man is Iron Rip Byson. And I do believe that he felt snubbed when Anthony Greene on the Limitless Wrestling podcast put out some names of who he believes would flourish in Japan, the likes of an Ace Romero, perhaps, and Alec Price. Synonymous, though, with this training regimen, his weightlifting, his in-ring training, Rip Byson eats, sleeps, and breathes Japan, but I suppose the difference maker is that he has not been there, Johnny Torres.
Yes, sir, top shelf.
And as far as Anthony Greene's concerned, someone that's been to the dance, as it were, perhaps Rip isn't at the top of that list, and that has got to irk him. He has his chance to prove him different tonight. Of course.
AG knew this was on the dance card, and you know that regardless of his true feelings, even if he felt that Ripper was at the top of his list, he's not going to play that card, I don't think, knowing that this match was next on the docket for him.
Absolutely, and no strangers to each other. They've known each other a long time, and just recently, this past April, I mentioned it earlier when we saw JD Drake, a triple threat match to have found that #1 contender. It was Rip Byson who became the #1 contender. Anthony Greene not a part of that fall, however.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to get his chance tonight, Rip Byson. And of course, imagine tonight if Rip Byson can defeat Anthony Greene, that's got to punch his ticket back. It's got to get him right back in line for either the defending champion Alec Price or perhaps Ace Romero, if he has anything to say about it tonight.
You said it.
Anthony Greene hits the rope, shoulder tackle. Rip Byson says no, and a chop by Anthony Greene. And Rip will be glad to play that game. Anthony Greene wants to engage, shoulder tackle. This is the chop, overhand chop brings down AG.
Steps through, big impact, and now Ripper off to the races, runs through the chop of Anthony Greene.
Right through the chop with a shoulder tackle, takes down Anthony Greene.
Flies through the air with the greatest of ease. That's Rip Byson. And now keeping the pressure on, the windup.
Catches him with that chop there, does Rip Byson. Gonna have some words there for Anthony Greene, and I would not waste my time. Stay confident. You got to stay on the man. Rip Byson looking to bring it into that street fight mode. And you got to believe that Anthony Greene wants to wrestle him. He does not want to get into a street fight with Rip Byson.
So far, though, more than willing to engage.
They're going tit for tat so far here in the early going. Forearm exchange from both competitors, 2 apiece, and more incoming.
Testing jaws. Speed picking up from both. Anthony Greene, though, stacking up.
Catches him with that Uranagi, lifts deep, does Rip Byson. Anthony Greene rolls to the outside.
Rip Byson potentially contemplating the tope. Out of the way, front row.
Catches him, gets him, just throws his body at Anthony Greene. Able to take him out.
Standing tall, Iron Rip Byson.
We've seen it before, perhaps that elbow from the apron from Rip Byson. Anthony Greene smart, trying to get out of dodge here as we speak.
Yes.
Another chop from Rip Byson. Anthony Greene looking to get this contest back into a wrestling match. Ripper says no, brings him to the outside. Anthony Greene now places Ripper. Misses the chop, every bit of those fingers. hitting that post as hard as possible.
Rip Byson taking advantage, connecting with his chop.
And you'll notice, very confident there, held Anthony Greene to the post while delivering the chop.
Yes.
Did not want him to move out of the way. Put a little extra oomph into it.
Ripper, a veteran of these floor wars. He's probably chopped enough posts in his day.
For better or worse, on accident or on purpose, scooping a slam on the hardwood floor here in Yarmouth, Maine. And I told you, that elbow perhaps gonna break the count, brings it back to 0.
Cactuso Ripper!
Gets every bit of it. Anthony Greene looking worse for the wear here in the early portion of this contest.
Rip Byson landed that elbow, got every bit of it and then some.
All smiles from Rip Byson here. Grabs a little bit of the measure of revenge. But you got to stay on him. Anthony Greene did not get to where he's at. Ugh! Super kick lands. Rip Byson able to hold on there. AG did not get where he belongs here in this business by taking it lightly.
No. He's picked up a multitude of tricks of the trade along the way.
Anthony Greene now in. Shoulder butt to the gut there by Rip Byson. Could be looking for a suplex, but not to the floor. Not to the floor. AG puts on the brake.
Ripper keeping that foot intertwined around the bottom rope. He's not going anywhere.
Greene lands once again on his feet. Has to figure something out. Perhaps trying to bring him back in. I don't know if that's the right move either, Torres.
Yeah, no, we're so far at a stalemate. Oh, Anthony Greene, rough landing on the top rope.
I'm gonna say was not able to get all the way over. Rip Byson brings him all the way over. Precarious position. Anthony Greene with an overhand chop. Ripper answers back. Strike exchange once again, Johnny Torres.
Ripper keeping with the chops. Anthony Greene with the elbows.
Big boot takes out AG.
Huge.
Rip Byson once again. AG catches him. What is this? Hangs him up with a DDT.
Spiked on the apron there.
Rip Byson landing head and shoulder first into the hardest part of the ring. And AG definitely has some time for a breather now if he chose to. The best thing in wrestling. Putting some value on that name right about now.
Ripper with the rough tumble to the floor. Now Anthony Greene. Well-placed stomp as he continues to remind Yarmouth that he is the best thing in wrestling.
That's the thing, and I don't think this crowd needs to be reminded. The former two-time Limitless Wrestling Champion. The only two-time Limitless Wrestling Champion. Defeating MJF for his first title. Defeating Daniel Garcia for his second.
Ripper trying to keep the Dukes up, but he's on rubber legs here. Anthony Greene, those educated hands. Well-honed, well-versed. Stomping that mud hole.
Big boots in the corner from Anthony Greene. Getting the lead out. Notice that shoulder pad, the arm pad.
You're ever gonna get to going to Japan, Rip.
There it is. Saying that this is the closest he'll ever make it to Japan. Anthony Greene with that support, not just on his elbow, but his arm.
I don't know, Top Shelf. I just don't know if you tell Iron Rip Byson that dreams aren't possible.
Big chop from Anthony Greene. Rip Byson catches him with a headbutt. Anthony Greene trying to find his center of gravity here. Headbutts in succession from Rip Byson over and over again. Anthony Greene still on his feet. The clothesline takes him out.
Right out of the pocket there. Corner to corner. Meets him with the avalanche. Ripper, not done. Make it 2.
Big boot from Ripper. AG moves. Big elbow. Spinning back elbow.
Watch the neck breaker.
Lands flush. Kips up back does Anthony Greene. The crowd in Yarmouth. Like I said, Johnny Torres surely has not forgotten the best thing in wrestling.
Absolutely not. Off of that neck breaker combo, Anthony Greene getting going. Walking, talking, flying.
Lands it. Ripper, though, able to float over. Gonna get him up. The strength of Rip Byson gonna be on display there. Holds on. Power slam position.
Pondering the Oklahoma Stampede.
Gets half of it. Gets all of it. Into the cover. 2. Yeah. Only 2.
Ripper worn out there.
Getting to that point in the contest where Rip Byson has got to be thinking burning hammer, perhaps.
Burning hammer, potentially that love gun lariat.
Love gun lariat, but then you think about that arsenal. Think about that arsenal of Anthony Greene. That isn't to say that Ripper does not have tricks up his sleeve, but so deep is Anthony Greene's playbook.
Now you said it, Top Shelf. We've seen Anthony Greene bust out an absolute, buffet of aerial maneuvers in the past, but there's nothing aerial about this.
Rip Byson, fireman's carry once again. Drops him down. Ripper holds on. Could this be?
Falcon Arrow!
Falcon Arrow lands. That cover, 2. Only 2.
Successful combo, but the contest rolls on.
Rip Byson cannot waste time. If I'm looking for a nod in cardio, I'm giving it to Anthony Greene. If the advantage is Ripper, he needs to stay on him. It's the mistakes of those in the past, like the Ace Romeros, like the Daniel Garcias, to play with their food, to let Anthony Greene recover.
Well, you said it. No argument here.
Rip Byson needs to have learned from those mistakes.
Oh, love gun lariat.
Anthony Greene now. Looking for that kick. Catches Rip Byson. That burning hammer, perhaps. All the way up. Anthony Greene lands on his feet. Ripper to the ground. Holds down to that foot.
Caught. Anthony Greene trying to strike his way out. The open hand strikes in bunches.
Catches him flush with that super kick. Belly to back. Floats him over.
Inside out goes Ripper, the cover.
Center of the ring. 2 and through. Only 2. Anthony Greene with a look of disbelief, asking referee Eric Greenleaf if that was a 3.
Oh, Anthony Greene can't believe it.
AG shaking his head saying that was 3. Now is not the time to argue with Eric Greenleaf.
Now's not the time. You got to keep the cool.
Prove futile. Anthony Greene brings Ripper back up perhaps here.
Might be time for So Much Prettier.
The So Much Prettier. His take on the Tamikaze, the unprettier.
Steps off, can't stick the landing. Nobody home on the lariat for Ripper. Gets the boot up with Anthony Greene caught.
There goes the boot. There goes the boot. Ripper needs it back. Eric Greenleaf there to get it. Schoolboy. Cover. Tights. Tights. He got him. Anthony Greene had the tights. Well, I don't think he needed that. No, Anthony Greene not only has the boot of Rip Byson, but he certainly had the tights.
No doubt about it. As clear as day.
Look at the look on Ripper's face.